Rebel News has uncovered more expense impropriety from the Indian trip in 2018. Bureaucrats tried to get the Indian government to pay for a hotel room on the pretense that it would be used for the Minister of Foreign Affairs. But then the bureaucrats wanted to do the old bait and switch and use it for someone else instead. Now, intrepid Rebel viewers will know that I am going through, maybe suffering through is the right words, a 1,700-page access information document package from the federal government. We recently received these documents about Justin Trudeau's embarrassing trip to India in February 2018. It's taken us nearly 3.5 years to get access to these documents, and I'm not fully convinced that we even have them all. Now, we've already uncovered some expense claims, abuse, and impropriety by Justin Trudeau's bureaucrats and hangers-on in some of these internal emails. It's kind of complicated, but the Reader's Digest version of it is that the bureaucrats wanted to stay in nicer rooms that were beyond their allowable expense limits. So they pressured an Indian hotel to bill them on paper for an expensive prime minister level suite that they wouldn't use. And then they wanted the hotel to use that money that they just spent on a phantom suite to artificially reduce the cost of the club rooms that the bureaucrats were staying in. I'll explain it again. They wanted the hotel to charge for an unused executive level suite that would appear to be used for the prime minister or somebody equally as important. And then the hotel would divide the amount of the unused suite to reduce the bureaucrats' club room rates. Basically, overbill over here, underbill over there. The hotel gets paid either way, but the bureaucrats get their nicer rooms, and they get to hide it all from the taxpayer and auditors. It's at the very least a fireable expense, might even be criminal. Now, you can see the full story and see the source documents at audittrudeau.com, and there you can sign a petition calling on the Auditor General to audit Justin Trudeau. And you can help offset our legal costs to have a lawyer draft an official complaint to the Auditor General directly to have that India trip audited for further improprieties. You can do that at audittrudeau.com. Now, going through these documents, I saw another instance of this bureaucratic hotel billing scam stuff. This time it involved global affairs. The bureaucrats wanted to see if they could trick India, the Indian government, into paying for a suite for them by claiming it was for Chrystia Freeland, then the Minister of Foreign Affairs. But then the bureaucrats would use it for someone else. Look at this in an email. 2 suites are not assigned. The hotel will charge one regular club floor rate, and the other will be at a suite rate, and typically this room is covered by the host government for the Minister of Foreign Affairs. If one is covered by the host, does it have to be specifically for the Minister of Foreign Affairs? What if the Minister of Foreign Affairs doesn't come, but we have other ministers? If the other one is at the rate of another room, would we take it and assign it to someone? The mission is checking on this. The assumption is that it must be for the Minister of Foreign Affairs, though. What a bunch of expense tricksters these bureaucrats are. You saw in the previous report, they wanted the hotel to overcharge other items so they could undercharge the club rooms to hide just how much these well-kept, well-paid bureaucrats were spending on themselves. Now, they're trying to grift a free hotel room out of the Indian government and give it to somebody that's not Chrystia Freeland, even though the rules state that that hotel paid for by the Indian government must go to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. This whole trip needs an audit. These documents are just brimming full of stuff like this. If you agree with me that the India trip must be audited, head over to audittrudeau.com. You can sign our petition there, calling on the Auditor General to audit this whole disaster of a trip. And you can also help to offset our legal costs to file a formal legal complaint to the Auditor General. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. The India trip is an absolute expense claim disaster. We've got bureaucrats wanting to overcharge the Canadian taxpayer so that the hotel would underbill their rooms so that they could get nicer rooms and hide it from auditors. And there's so much more. I've got 1,700 pages worth of documents to go through. But in the meantime, we think this entire trip should be audited by the Auditor General. We've got a petition. Go to audittrudeau.com to sign it. And while you're there, if you'd like to pitch in to cover our legal costs to file a formal legal complaint to the Auditor General, you can do that at that same website, audittrudeau.com.